Hello everyone, my name is Elle. Welcome. Not that long ago, I did a video called Brands You're Not Allowed Not to Like. And that was all about beauty brands that you get criticized for if you dislike them in any way. And I had a lot of requests in the comments of that video for the opposite. Brands you're not allowed to like. So instead of people criticizing you because you don't like a brand, people criticize you because you do like these brands. And people had a lot of suggestions. I think you probably already have an idea of some of the brands that are going to be talked about, but I thought this would be a fun discussion. So before I begin, just a tiny disclaimer. We are all free to make whatever purchasing decisions we want. Disagreeing with someone doesn't give you the license to harass them, and that goes for me or anyone else who chooses to participate in my comment section, okay? So please keep it civil. I think there should be some awareness and acknowledgement that what we choose to support, even when it comes to makeup, can speak volumes to other people. So it's good to be aware of why. An aware consumer is a smart consumer, but we all have different definitions of what that means. So just keep that in mind moving forward. So the first brand I want to talk about is probably one of two brands that you first immediately thought of when you saw this title, and that is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, Jeffree Star Cosmetics is a cruelty-free brand with a very clear aesthetic, and a lot of people are big fans of the products. Take the liquid lipsticks, for example. Now, I'm not reviewing the products. In my last video like this, I had a lot of people, a surprising amount of people actually, say that I shouldn't talk about brands if I hadn't tried all the products, and you're nuts. That I can talk about whatever I want. I'm not reviewing these products. I'm not sitting here and talking about the liquid lipstick and reviewing the formula. I'm talking about the brand overall. And you don't have to try any products in order to talk about a brand overall. Now, I have tried one liquid lipstick, but I'll get to that in a minute. So what's the problem? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, Jeffree Star himself is known for being a very controversial figure. There's a lot of drama that surrounds him. I'm not going to rehash old news. It's very easy to find receipts if you really want them. Just Google Jeffree Star drama or controversy or misogyny or racism, and you will find a lot of examples of the negative aspects of Jeffree Star, and you can't really separate the person from the brand in this case, because for better or worse, he is the face of his brand. I think because of all the drama that surrounds him, if you are a supporter of his brand, you are seen as a supporter of him and thus his actions. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I have a liquid lipstick that I was gifted. I like it. I talked about it in a video I did last year on controversial products that I love. It was a tough video for me to do, but I'm really glad I did it because it opened a lot of doors for me in terms of discussion, because there's a lot of stuff that I was pretty clueless about, and so I'm very grateful. It really helped me a lot. So I had made that conscious decision before not to purchase from Jeffree Star, and I took it further now, and I no longer wear that lipstick on camera because it's not something I'm comfortable recommending. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more cautious about that, and I'll talk more about my feelings on that in a second. But that's just a personal choice that I made. I did have a subscriber gift me a couple of Jeffree Star lip scrubs a couple months ago, and I've been using them on my own time. I haven't been talking about them on my channel. I am grateful for the gift. I just wanted to put that out there because they might potentially show up in like an empties or something. So that's where they came from, just so that everything is clear. But I have never purchased from Jeffree Star, and I have no intentions of purchasing. See, there always has to be some kind of disclaimer. The next brand I want to talk about is Lime Crime. To no surprise, I'm sure. Lime Crime is sort of similar to Jeffree Star in that it's cruelty-free, very clear aesthetic, by all accounts, good formulation, good products, but the Lime Crime drama is endless. Again, this is all old news. Lime Crime hasn't really done a whole lot in the last couple of years. Google Lime Crime Drama, you will find plenty of examples that mostly focus around the founder of Lime Crime, Doe Deer. There's her dressing up as Hitler for Halloween. There's her threatening legal action against reviewers and bloggers who were kind of unfavorable towards Lime Crime, cultural appropriation, FDA issues, and of course, the website hacking that resulted in thousands of dollars in credit card fraud from Lime Crime customers. Doe Deer has made a couple of apologies lately, so who knows what's going to happen next. I know for some people it doesn't matter because what's done is done. That's what I find interesting, because there are some people who just write off brands and other people entirely, and that's it. It does not matter what they do or say, they are done. Now, I don't purchase from Lime Crime anymore, but I have in the past. My last purchase was in 2016 at IMATS. I don't regret my purchases. I really love my products, but I have decided not to use the products on camera anymore because I don't support the brand. So there's a disconnect there. I feel like I should wear stuff that I believe in and that I support, but that's not always the case because I do pan makeup. I do have a lot of products that I don't necessarily like but can just find a way to make work, and they're not necessarily products that I would recommend to people. I'm trying to find a way to pan these products thoughtfully because I don't want to throw away things that I spent money on that I actually like, but in order to pan some of these things I would have to wear them on camera, and that's where an issue lies for me, like with the previously mentioned Jeffree Star lipstick as well. I would love to use these things, finish them up, and get rid of them, and then eventually replace them before they go bad, because I know some of these things are sort of borderline, but everything that I have that hasn't expired and is still good, I want to use up soon. The next two brands I'm gonna lump together because you're not supposed to like them for the same reason, and those brands are MAC and NARS. Both brands are known for being inclusive. If you look at their foundation ranges, their concealers, just their complexion products in general, you see such a wide variety from very fair to very dark. They also have a lot of colorful products because there is an artistry factor to both brands. So you have a wide variety of options in eyeshadows, blushes, lipsticks, but they sell in China, which means they have to allow their products to be tested on animals. MAC has been selling in China since I believe 2005, and NARS just started selling last year in 2017. And no matter what they say, it's for one reason and one reason only, and that is profit. The beauty industry, the cosmetic industry in China is estimated to be worth about $30 billion US. Now, Estee Lauder and Shiseido, the parent companies of both MAC and NARS respectively, reported growth in sales last year. Shiseido even recently released a report saying that they had surpassed 1 trillion Japanese yen in sales. That's $9.3 billion US. That's a goal that they thought they wouldn't meet until 2020, and they partially credited NARS moving into the Chinese market for that expansion and growth. So besides selling in China, there have been other minor issues with MAC, such as cultural appropriation with the Vibe Tribe collection from a couple of years ago, and I think a lot of people are well aware of the sexual names that NARS has for some of their products, which has been a little bit of an issue. Now, I personally love both MAC and NARS. I've never shied away from this fact. I've never hidden it. And that's all I'm going to say on that because I really don't think that this is a topic that can be discussed in a vacuum. Moving right along to Morphe. Morphe is such an affordable brand. They have a wide variety of eyeshadows. They have so many different makeup brushes. But they've never really been able to escape the private label rumors. Now, I really don't doubt that they started off being private labeled, and for those of you who don't know what that phrase means, it just means that one company or manufacturer makes the products and then it's sold under the label of something else. So for example, with Morphe, it was speculated for a while that Crown Brushes was responsible for their brushes. So Crown Brushes sells themselves. They sell brushes with their labels on it, but they would make the same brush without a label, but just kind of stamp the Morphe brush on it, and Morphe would then sell it. So Morphe would be buying from Crown Brushes and sort of reselling it. Anybody can private label anything if you have the money to do so. The thing with Morphe is that they really capitalized on influencers and beauty gurus to expand. I think we've seen things like the Jaclyn Hill palette that sort of prove that they're not private labeled anymore, or maybe not as much private labeled as they were. I definitely think that they've expanded because their profits have expanded, so they have more money to play with now. This is all speculation, by the way. I don't have any proof. I'm just going off of the things that I've read and heard from other people. It just seems very likely, and it's the rumors that surround the brand that makes it hard to escape that reputation, that makes people judge it. And also with Morphe, with those beauty gurus and influencers, you have affiliate codes. That's how Morphe wins, and that's how the influencers win, because they get this discount code that you can use, which means that they get a percentage back of the sale. You get a percentage off, so it doesn't hurt you at all, but they get a kickback. And that's why you will see a lot of them pushing these products. They are pushing the use of their code because they get something out of it. That's true for all affiliate codes though, not just Morphe, but Morphe really has that reputation because people are known to push it so hard. Now, I personally like Morphe. I bought some Morphe brushes based off of the recommendations of the big bad beauty gurus, and I love them. I use Morphe brushes every single time I do my makeup. As far as it goes for me with the affiliate codes, it's just a matter of being aware that they're pushing it and why they're pushing it. It doesn't necessarily mean the products are bad, but they have a little bit invested in it because they get money back. And people whose full-time job it is to be an influencer, they are going to use those codes because it helps them pay their bills. So I'm aware of that, and it doesn't bother me. I buy what I want to buy. But speaking of pushing products, Kylie Cosmetics. So I'm sure most people know this is Kylie Jenner's makeup brand that kind of came out of nowhere. There was a point in time when all you came across on the internet were Kylie Jenner makeup tutorials. People were trying to figure out what lip combination she was using. People were trying to recreate her looks. And at the peak of the popularity of her lipstick trend, she was pretty much silent. And then a little while later, she came out with this brand, which I think was kind of smart. I don't know how much involvement she actually had with the development, but it seemed to be a brand that was developed thoughtfully, and it wasn't just slapped together, because they really could have pushed it out right at the peak of that hype, but they waited. So I think there's something to be said about that. But there's controversy because she's Kylie Jenner. She's part of the Kardashian dynasty. There were rumors, and still are rumors, of the similarities between ColourPop and Kylie because their parent company is Seed Beauty. So because of that, and because of some other, speculations, there's always the little tinfoil hat people who are coming up with their makeup conspiracies, which I love reading, by the way. They're fun, but you never know how legitimate they actually are. But when it comes to the Kardashians, man, they are a dream for businesses. They just push consumerism. They push it like crazy. And like it or not, a lot of people are inspired by the Kardashian family. They take inspiration from them. And because of that, they buy what they recommend. So yes, there is this consumerism push that leads to a lot of materialism, which isn't good, but they are crazy influential. Another issue with Kylie Cosmetics is when it first started, they really were smart about building that hype. They had products sell out in seconds. That would create demand, get people talking about it, and then they could release more product a couple days later. Not enough time to manufacture new product. So it's very clear that they were just holding back product and only letting so much go at a time, which is a really smart, if sneaky, strategy. Now, I'm really over the Kardashian hate at this point. It's so done. People just need to be smart about their purchasing decisions themselves and stop blaming it on other people. Like, I'm so tired of people blaming the Kardashians for consumerism, because consumerism existed long before they did. And it's going to continue to exist even without them. There's a lot of other people pushing consumerism and materialism. It isn't just them. So I'm just kind of over that. I have some Kylie products. I haven't purchased anything myself. I was gifted some. I really like it. The only thing that has stopped me from purchasing Kylie is because I'm Canadian, so it just doesn't make economic sense for me once I factor in the exchange rate and having to pay taxes and extra handling fees. It just doesn't make sense. There's other products that I can get that are fine. Like, I'm not madly in love with the products so much so that I'm willing to spend all that extra money. If it was easier for me to access the products, I don't see any reasons why I wouldn't. I have two more brands that I want to touch on. The next one being Tarte. So you probably know where I'm going with this. Tarte is a huge mainstream brand. They are so popular. They have so many popular products like Shape Tape Concealer. And so of course people were just nuts when they announced the Shape Tape foundation. People were counting down. They were so excited and looking forward to it. Then when they released those promo pictures, everyone's excitement just dropped because it was beige as far as the eye could see. Beige. Especially following Fenty Beauty. We are in a post-Fenty world. Thank God. It's really become the norm now to have a extensive shade range with your foundations. And it doesn't have to be 40, but there at least has to be like a good gradient there. There has to be good representation. And Tarte was just doing what they've always done. And what a lot of brands did, and some continue to do, just they do it quietly. And that's treat people of color as afterthoughts. It really doesn't make sense to me that they would only release a certain amount of shades and not release more. Even if they talk about expanding the line further down the road, like, why wouldn't you have the options available right from the start? And for me personally, I was really struggling with the whole Tarte thing because I really liked Tarte. The day that the Shape Tape Gate scandal happened, I actually had a video ready to go live all about brand loyalty, with my #1 brand being Tarte. And then I was like, I should probably not post that today. I wanted to still support them, but then at the same time I was like, wait, what is this saying if I continue to purchase from this brand? And if I can purchase from brands that are inclusive and have made that a priority, that's more important to me. The last brand I want to mention is Too Faced. Now, Too Faced doesn't have a lot of the same controversies as these other brands. They're actually relatively safe, and I think that's what makes them a really easy target to pick on, because there aren't these other underlying issues with them. They're just tacky and cutesy and gimmicky. It's really easy to criticize them, and I even get criticism back on me if I talk about how I like a Too Faced product. I get comments like that, oh no, Elle, you fell for the hype. It's like, not necessarily. Maybe I did, but I also like the product, like the Sweet Peach palette. You know, I bought it when it came out and I still like it now. Like with the other brands, there's always this disclaimer attached now. It's always the, oh yeah, I know they're cutesy and gimmicky. I know. Oh, but I just can't help it. I like it. Oh, you know, I like cutesy things. Oh, that's my aesthetic. I know it's awful. Like, people are always kind of dragging themselves first before anybody else gets a chance to do it, which I always find so funny. And people always say it to me too when they're talking about Too Faced. It's like, I like Too Faced, but it's fun to make fun of them, but I'm not making fun of you. And I think that's the difference. People can't separate it when they're like, but I like this brand. It's a personal attack. No, it's not. We're talking about the brand. We're criticizing some of their choices, but we're not criticizing you. You are not the brand. Totally different thing. Some people really like to focus on that. I definitely get those trolls who like to focus on that whenever I criticize one of their favorite brands. They're very easy to turn it back on me. I got that in my last video, the brands you're not allowed not to like, which just totally proved my point. It was great. Just like, thanks for proving me right. Because people just get so sensitive about it when it's a brand that they love, that they really relate. They just take it personally, and it's not a big deal. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so, so much for suggesting this topic. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to continue the conversation with you in the comments. Please let me know what brands you feel like you're not allowed to like, and let me know if you like them anyway. And let me know your thoughts on any of the brands that I talked about as well. But just remember to please keep it civil. We are all humans here, so just remember that. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.